Hi guys, this is I think a fitting tune for the bear market. I have not met anybody, including myself, that has not wished that they were early for a bull market or wished that they can rewind time and go back and change something. So today's mindset video is actually there for that, because there's one true reality that everybody that's currently in the market has ever been on time for, and that's the bear market. Think of that. Let it sink in. It's a goosebump moment for me. If you think of it, you're early for the bear market. So let's talk today about some mindset stuff, and then I want to talk to you guys a little bit of a charts as well, just to make sure that I don't leave you guys hanging there. And that's it. So in the comments, real quick. Good morning, Renee. Anybody else joining in live? This is out of my normal scheduled stream. Let me know. Say hi. How you doing? Even if you're on Twitter, say hi. And let's get into this. What I did do, though, is I'm going to cut the music. I made some notes, because what I want to say to you guys is serious. It's not that. And as I went live, my book fell. So I've got my book in front of me, and now let's get into this. Okay. So the important thing is, and let me just move this around, and I want to make sure I speak to everything that I want to talk to you guys. I want to quickly explain to you guys how bull markets form. First, because this is part of what the mindset is necessary. How the hell is it that everybody said it was going to go 150? Everything made sense. And now we're sitting at 89. I said to you guys, I'm going to sell 125. I might regret it. It's like I bought 15K. I might regret it. Okay, 17 there, but okay. That's the kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff that happens. Okay, so why? How does that happen? Well, when faced with the same information, like-minded people will get to the same conclusion. It's as simple as that. So fundamentally, what happens with this entire move that you see here, how this happens is fundamentally, there's a real catalyst that ignites a reason for people to buy. For this cycle, it was Bitcoin spot ETF. That was the driving force behind that. Great. Okay. Now, the reality, though, is the market is forward-looking, meaning what happens today is not because of today, it's because of what happened in the past. So if we're saying things are going to go up, this thing is bullish, meaning what do you do when you say that? You buy. Wherever you are, you're going to buy. And that action has a repercussion. Buying can only lead to selling pressure. Because if I own everything, what can I do with it? Nothing. I need to sell it. And selling can only lead to buying pressure. Because if it's sold, what can I do? I can only buy it back. So when the market is selling off, it is because everybody had already bought. Everybody that was going to participate in this move participated and acted. Now, the only next logical move for the price to do is to sell off. That's it. So be it institutions buying this for their treasury, be it the spot ETF approval, be it MicroStrategy, be it whatever the case might be. The fact that it's selling is because they bought. They acted. They got it now. Now what? Now that brings me to this third thing that I want to share with you. So the first thing was like-minded people, faced with the same information, can get to the same conclusion. And that's what creates the narrative. Bullish. Great. Second thing I wanted to share with you guys was forward-looking. Actions today is because of actions in the past. We tend to discredit our own actions as well. Let's just add to this point. What do I mean by that? Okay. We as a collective acted and bought. And now, because it's hurting us as a collective, we want to blame. Me as a single individual buying doesn't do anything. But remember, we are not a single entity. We are a collective. And that's the problem. Brings us to the third thing. The markets never move in the way that we think they're going to move. Now, like I just explained to you guys, because you're buying, the assumption is it's bought. The supply is taken out of the market. There's going to be more demand for this thing and less supply. And the only next obvious reason, only obvious direction for this is that it needs to go to the upside. True, in a way. But in the end of the day, in order for that imbalance that got created, there has to be the other side. And that's the people selling, saying, well, okay, you bought. I believe now that you're going to get tested. I got tested because I wanted to short there. So that's typically what happens. There's two sides to the market. And the problem that we have with this single idea that fundamentally this is going to go up indefinitely, narrative that we have with Bitcoin, altcoins, anything in that matter, is that when the market starts turning, we don't want to see the momentum for what it is. And when the momentum starts switching sides, we basically turn a blind eye to what is obviously there. You're early to the bear market. You're early because this is still early days. There's still a lot of downside that can come. You're early days to what the potentials will be for what the market's going to do, because the market never runs out of opportunities. And that's the beauty. Okay. So, hi guys, about 130 people joining in live right now. Let me know where you're at, how you're feeling, how you're experiencing this. And while that happens, because the chat's always delayed from when I'm speaking and when you're listening to it, I'm going to clean out the brush strokes and just make sure that I've got everything ticked off that I wanted to do. Okay. So let's talk about that mindset now. Because if you're early to the bear market, it means that there's an amazing opportunity waiting for you. If you just find it in your heart to forgive yourself, because we all have regrets. I have regrets. I didn't play this with a 100% success rate. I wish I did. I wish I could say that. This entire move had times where I got screwed over by my own greed, my own fears, my own self-doubt. You know, the reality is we all suffer from this in our own way. And so the quicker I can forgive myself for not making as much money as I wanted to, the quicker I can stop holding on to hope, because hope is the complacency thing. I warned you guys about this. The way the market's going to trick you into the bear market is by not being bearish. Tops are bullish. It's by being complacent. So Bitcoin doesn't move, the momentum is slow, and then alts start firing off. We had really good bumps on Jelly. We had bumps on COAI. I mean, there was a numerous amount of coins of just firing off multipliers like crazy. That's complacency, my friends. Now we're sitting in anxiety, and people are feeling this. And the hope was that 92 will hold, 100 will hold, these levels. And now we're sitting in 89, which is simple price action wise, just the most logical target for where price is going to go. It's the imbalance. So we finally reached the bottom end. Now, here's another point that I want to bring to you guys, another mindset point. I actually had a comment by one of the followers on Twitter. Let's quickly see if I can open up the Twitter page. That apologized. Yeah, there it is. Now, I want to officially apologize. I was wrong, and I wanted to know that you're not wrong. You weren't wrong, and there's absolutely nothing to apologize because I weren't right. Think of it like this. Technical analysis is just a risk management tool. It's not a right or wrong tool. If I knew 100% what the future is going to do, I would have retired by now, guys. I would have buggered off, lived on an island, have my yachts, and whatever the case might be. I doubt the market just like you do. I trust the TA because the TA gives me a risk to reward ratio, meaning that the chances that I'm wrong is just as good as I'm right. It's about making money. And that's the crux of where we are right now. So no need to apologize, no need to switch sentiments or anything like this. Just use technical analysis almost for what it is. And it's just a measurement of momentum and risk and an assumption of what the trend could potentially be. Okay, that's it. That's, I think, all the mindset stuff. Now, I've tried to do it as effortlessly and as possible, but there's no real preparation for these things. I tend to wing it, as always. Like I say, I come on live. If I know what I'm doing, I don't need to prepare much. So if there's any questions or something that doesn't make sense, guys, drop it in the comments right now. We can discuss this further going forward. Okay. So no apologies needed. I wasn't right, because if I was right, I mean that I would have known that this is going to happen. I just took the bet that it's going to probably happen. Okay. And that for that same reason, now this is going to put the context in for why I'm saying now's the time to be bullish, why I'm saying long term is the time to be bearish. Okay. And why I'm saying that a relief rally for the alts is plausible. Okay. Here's why. Okay. So price action wise, I've marked out the level. I'm not going to go into a tier lesson on why that level is there. That's the area. Now, if you look at Bitcoin on the 4-hour time frame, I'm just going to zoom in there. What are we getting now? We're getting the RSI on the bearish side of the market. Okay, so it's trending bearish. So as long as the RSI does this, it's bearish. And every time it's going to stick out its head, you're going to look for hidden bearish divergence, because you want the trend to continue bearish. And when you track the momentum of the trend, it means that there is still a lot of upside needed before we can even say relief rally. Yesterday, we were looking at this area at around 94 as a potential area to hold. So yes, remember now, I just said, you can't say that I was right and you were wrong. Nobody can, because by that definition, I was wrong here. So I'm wrong. I didn't call it. I just acted in a way to try and make money. That's the key here. Okay, so we lost that support. Now we're sitting in this area where I'm looking for us to build new support. Now, how will this look? Typically, your RSI is now going to start to turn to the upside. It's not done that yet. Until that happens, I cannot say relief rally is going to come. This was the potential. We were making a higher low, lower low in price. Things looked good at that stage for strong bullish divergence. But what's the rule with the pivots? Same pivots we used on the weekly time frame to get out the top. What's the rule? That's your thou shall not cross. If price goes back down, underneath it, you're going to fail. And yesterday, my longs failed. I think I lost like $100. It's not a lot of money, but it's still money on longs that I was trying to cover. I was stopped at break even, and it came right back. Took my money. It's over. Okay. And now we're sitting in the same situation. But here's the interesting thing. This now is going to do exact same thing as there. There's going to be a lower low. It's going to hurt people more. It's going to sit in that imbalance and probably then create a new support and then make a higher high, a manageable higher high. And that's what you want to wait for. When it's going to happen, I don't have the information, but here's the part that I do have. The part that I say you early for the bear market. If Bitcoin, I'm going to go back to the daily time frame. If Bitcoin is now in this early stages of a bear market, what it needs to go do is it needs to go confirm whether 100K is in fact the resistance we now believe it to be. Price will at some stage go and revisit that level. And it's this uptick in price that's going to create the reinforcing habits that's going to let people that's holding on to hope hold on to hope even more when it goes lower, because it won't dip forever, you know, guys. And it's true, it won't dip forever, but it just creates that trap. Don't let that be you. You're early to the bear market. Remember now, your job going forward is to use resistance like you did with support. You want to buy good supports. Now you want to sell good resistance levels. Okay, that's it. Now, the last part that I wanted to try and add to this is the alt section. Now, I've gone through the alts, funny enough. And the one thing that I picked up, I'm going to load, this is the alts to Bitcoin chart. And I'm going to go to the daily time frame. This is now Zcash. It's flying out of nowhere. If you have a look at what Zcash did in 2018, come on, now I've got the wrong tool there. 2018. It had its launch, whoop, sold off. Then it had its initial pump rally, and then it died, and it went through what is an immense winter of accumulation. This thing was dead. Now, this is effort versus result. That's all that is. Dead cat bounce on this. Now, fundamentally, what is happening here, I'm not up to speed completely, guys. I'm going to be honest with you guys. But from a technical point of view, why would you want to buy this? And that's why you should buy this, because it's that dead move that's just sitting there. Now, that's dead against the performance of Bitcoin, guys. Okay, so Bitcoin goes up, this thing went up just like all the other alts. Okay, remember, so it's not its own USDT price, but it's dead. It didn't do much until recently, when it now started outperforming Bitcoin. Amazing feeling. There's more coins that look just like that. Let's have a look at Bitcoin Cash. Can you see Bitcoin Cash? Can you see the similarities? Okay, there's more of these. There's a hell of a lot of these guys. Okay, I'll show you one more. Okay, there's a lot of these coins. So the thing that I'm thinking moving forward, though, is that because everybody was so comfortable on the fact that an alt season is expected when Bitcoin goes up, like-minded individuals, when faced with the same information, will come to the same conclusion. I'm guilty. My hands up. I thought the same. Okay. The alts didn't rally. Second thing, if everybody has bought, price cannot go up anymore. Alts didn't do well. We were thinking there was going to be an alt season. We bought the alts. Nothing happened. Okay. Third thing, the markets don't move the way we want them to move. The best analysis or analogy, that I can use for this is when a BMW, brand new BMW, goes on sale. The price is what the price is. Everybody expects the price to be what it is, and it's great. And now the dealer goes and he slashes the price by 30%. What happens? More people go and buy the car. We're indoctrinated through retail sales. Your iPhone goes on sale. I want a new phone. I can get it. It's on a good deal. Great. Yeah. All this lets us buy the dip. But the financial markets don't work that way. When it sells, you stay away. When it pumps, you get in. When that BMW's price goes up, that's a good investment. Think of it now as you would do an old Ferrari. I'm using cars. Maybe cars would be a bad analogy, but think of it like that. If you're buying an old Porsche, let's use Porsche. Why are you buying it? Because you think that it's going to go up. It's going to appreciate in value. And why is that a good investment, or seen as a good investment, as opposed to buying a BMW? Because the past trend has shown you that the car was launched at that price. It's 20 years later, and it's now you're paying more for it than you would have done back in the day. It's growing in value. That's a simple investment. Now you're saying it's a good investment. But funny enough, when you want to get in on it, you want that guy to say, but I'll sell this great investment at a dip. Or else you don't want to buy it. And that's the problem that we have with the markets. Don't think like retail, because this is not a retail environment. This is an investment environment. Buy the thing that is showing you that it's appreciating and hold on to that. And the thing that's dipping, let it dip, because it's clearly something is wrong with it. Okay, that's it. Okay, so looking at this from that sentimental point of view for the alts, because we had 1, mindset, 2, acted, 3, markets doesn't move that way. My belief is that heading into our next cycle, we sold the top, planning the bottom. Sold the top, planning the bottom. Sold the top, planning the bottom. Our next low won't be Bitcoin stealing everybody's thunder. It will probably then be Ethereum, then be the Cardanos and everything having their moment in the sun. And the way that these charts are going to look, guys, the ones paired to the Bitcoin pairing, meaning they are so sold off, the alts. They are, if Bitcoin is losing value in dollars terms, they're actually going up now. We can go to another one. Let's dash. That's all dash now. Let's see what else we have. I'm just going to scroll up. I'm just going to scroll up. Litecoin. So Bitcoin is falling and they're falling less. So now they're showing that they're going to retrace. They're going to lose value in dollars just as Bitcoin goes down. But potentially their Bitcoin perspective, the respective charts, are going to start giving us signs of this and give us then the alt season. So you're early for the bear market. You can get out. You can ride the resistance. You can wait for the opportunities. Don't hold on to a sinking ship. Secondly, what the alts are showing us now, time will tell whether it's true going to be the case, is that the next cycle will probably only then be ETH going to 10K, Solana going to 5K, whatever the predictions were, the crazy stuff. Okay. Oh, sorry, guys. I need to move this chart over. I never moved it over. There you have it. Okay. That's it. 20 minutes. That's everything that I need to say. So mindset-wise, you're early, guys. Now, today's video brought to you by ByBit. Let's just say hello to our channel sponsor. There's the ByBit link. If you want to support the content, you can always do. Just open your ByBit account using my partner link. And in addition to that, I will give you access to, because nothing is free in the world. For your efforts, you'll get rewarded. I'll give you access to my buddy indicator. Okay. It looks at the market, it looks at the trends, and then it overrides the candles accordingly, whether it's blue for bullish and orange for bearish. So it keeps it simple for you to know when to act. And the buddy says it's still orange. Simple indicator for you on an interface, complex behind the screens. I'll give that to you. Last little thing, guys. I started my WAP page for the subscriptions for the private group. 3 guys subscribed. 2 decided to upgrade to lifetime membership. Now, this is now a month. I made 1 tweet, and I think I said it once on this group. So what I have at the moment is the lifetime discount, 50% discount on the lifetime membership. So go and have a look at that. Claim your 50% discount. I think there's now, because we're on the new, there's 18 seats left. I can only handle this amount, an X amount of people, guys. And that's it. It's a tight-knit community. Get you in at the lows, help get you out at the highs. It's a mentorship group, it's a mindset group, not a signal service group. We work together. I share my charts, I share my trades, I do all those kind of stuff as well. But it's about the mindset, guys. Think about what amazing opportunities lie ahead of us. Right now, we're early for the bear market. Amazing. What's next? Okay. You have a lovely day. Let's wait for supports to hold before we go buy the bloody dip to try and trade this thing back up, because we're allowed to do so. Okay. Keep an eye on alts. There's some really good alts that didn't perform. Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum even. We can even look at Ethereum. I'll quickly show Ethereum's chart. Ethereum even. Look at this little piece of price action. Higher high, deleted the hidden bearish divergence, go test some lows, chop sideways a little bit. Ethereum will have its moment. It's not going to be now, but it's coming. Okay. So you have these good coins, you have the good opportunity. Invest in yourself, grow so you can get it right the next cycle if you feel like you didn't. And forgive yourself, because we don't know. I don't know. You don't know. Technical analysis is a risk management tool. And there's one closing remark that I want to leave you guys. Always use fundamentals and technical analysis when you look to buy. Why? Because you need to know whether this is a good investment. You need to know how it's perceived and technical analysis helps you measure the risk. But when it comes to selling, fundamentals are always going to trap you. Because a good coin fundamentally doesn't change at the top. Bitcoin now At 89 was the same Bitcoin at 125. Only difference is the technical analysis showed the weakness in price. Fundamentally, it's the same thing. Okay, so that's it. Have a lovely day. Enjoy your day. Tomorrow we'll be back, and maybe this afternoon there will be a special guest that's going to be teaching us how to use mathematics to understand trends. So I'm keen. I haven't heard from him yet whether he's going to be in for it. So I'm keen to share that with you guys. So keep your fingers crossed. Share the video, like and retweet, do all that other stuff if you want to. And remember, just chill. We're early.